Module 8, Health and Safety. Adhesive bonding means chemical bonding. A lot of chemical products are involved. We need to discuss this issue very carefully. Safety also means repair joints. We will see different techniques. I have an example here, a repair joint. We will discuss this also in this module. Adhesive bonding involves chemical products. The technology is also known as chemical joining, in opposition to mechanical joining with a bolt, for example. So it's very important that we discuss the safety issues. And if we talk about safety, it makes sense also to talk about repair, especially when we talk about the aeronautical industry. So these things will be treated in this module. First of all, let's talk about the chemical components of the adhesives. They need to comply with the REACH agreement. It's a document that gives guidelines concerning the components that can be introduced into the adhesive. Anyway, any data manufacturer needs to provide data sheets where they indicate clearly the components of the adhesive, and this needs to be in agreement with REACH. You need to protect yourself. You shouldn't contact, inhale the adhesive and the other chemical substances that are associated to this technology. So this slide is self-explanatory. We should always use well-ventilated systems to ventilate all the volatiles that are generated during manufacture. Concerning the handling of the adhesives, generally speaking, before cure, you should be careful. Protect, don't inhale, but after cure, there is no problem. So you have for each family the main risks associated. I'm not going to go through in detail of them. All of them, it's quite easy to understand. I will just talk about the most important point. And for epoxies, it's the exothermic reaction. That means during cure, you have an increase in temperature. And if you use too thick bond lines, this might cause the burning even of the adhesive. Concerning the phenolics, phenol is not a very nice chemical component, so it's good to avoid inhalation exposure to this component. Concerning the aromatics like polyimide or bismaleimide, they contain a lot of volatiles to help with the spreading of the adhesive, so you should use here very well ventilated places. For the adhesives that are not structural, like the synthetic rubbers and the inorganic adhesives, there is nothing really special to talk about concerning these adhesives, but really the products that are particularly harmful are the release agents used in the molds to take off the specimens easily, the solvents during the surface preparation, and finally the acids also used during surface preparation, especially with metals, and when we talk about aerospace industry, especially with aluminum. Really, these three, you should be extremely careful, use ventilated places, use gloves to protect yourself. If we talk about safety, we talk about repair. We want to make sure that our airplane is safe at every time. And typically, with the time in service, there will be cracks appearing next to stress concentrations, for example, next to rivets. And it's very common to bond a patch on the defects, such as indicated here. And it's very clear the effect that the bonded patch has on the service life. You have here the clock length versus the number of cycles. So we are talking of fatigue loading. By the way, one cycle corresponds to one flight where you pressurize the aircraft. And you have here two curves, this one without patch and this one with patch. So it's very clear that you can use the aircraft for many more cycles, many more flights if you use that bonded patch. But how do you repair? Well, it's quite straightforward. Basically, you need to remove the damaged area and then fill it with the layers. We are talking about the case of repairs with laminate material. So here you remove the damage and you are left with a hole, so you will fill the hole with the laminates, and the laminates are adhesively bonded with the film, or you can use a chamfer to make the thing better in terms of stress distribution and stress transfer. I have here one component. I 3D printed for you to understand how it's done. So imagine we did the chamfer on the laminate, we apply the laminates on top, and we use an adhesive film before to bond the over laminate. And at the end you have something that is nice and smooth, you see, nice and smooth, and with a better transfer from this side to this side. Okay? This is for a laminate. If you use a sandwich structure that we discussed in the introduction module, it's more or less the same. You remove the damaged area and you fill it with the honeycomb and with the outer laminates, and the whole thing is adhesively bonded. So that's for the safety and repair. You know that we are talking about the technology that use chemical substances. We should be careful with that. And we also have seen ways to safely repair damaged areas.